Good morning, guys. It is day 2 of our week. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to say a belated and thank you Memorial Day to all of those who have served us and the families whose loved ones have been away from them in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or that they have lost, serving our country to give us the liberties and the freedoms that we have. This week's song is going to be worth it all. And when you start talking about sacrifice, there's so many stories in the Bible that gives us a clear picture of that in the everyday life of celebrating soldiers and those who have gone before us to protect us. And this story this week, what we're going to be looking at is Abraham and the calling of God for him to sacrifice his son Isaac. I'm in Genesis 22, chapter 22, verse 1. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. Today I'm just going to pause there because we're going to journey through this story this week. As we look at this song, I Don't Understand Your Ways is the opening line of this song. And the reality is, if you've spent 1 second with the Lord guiding you, I assure you, you've experienced some point in your life where you're like, God, I do not understand what you are doing, what you are saying, or what you're asking me to do. And I'm just going to say that. I don't understand it. I do not understand your will, and I do not understand your way. In this moment, I want us to look at verse 1 when he says, Abraham, this is God calling to him, and he said, Here I am. The main place that I want us to just pause, I'm excited to journey through this week. When the Lord is calling to us, first off, you have to be in a relationship to know his voice. I can think about being in the store as a kid growing up, and many times people would say mom or call their mom or dad. And my mom would always distinctly know us. She created this whistle that she would do so she could find us when time would come. But when we would say mom, it's like she intuitively knew our voice and she could hear us. Just as well as with my dad, I could be out at a ballpark or different places, and a bunch of dads or anyone called my name or said, hey son, even down to just hey son. When my dad said it, I knew that voice, and I clearly knew that was my dad, and depending on the pitch, I needed to come then or I could act like I didn't hear. But in this essence, Abraham has such a relationship with the Lord that when he calls his name, he clearly understands and knows it. So he says, Here I am. He doesn't hide. He doesn't stray away. He's in this place of knowing when the Lord calls to him, acknowledge his presence and allow him to speak clearly and directly to your heart. Then as it journeys on, he says, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering. He is literally saying, take your son and go slaughter him. Go and commit your son and kill him. Give him to me, but in a way in which you have to physically kill him. On one of the mountains I shall tell you. So in verse 3, which we'll look at this more tomorrow, but it says, So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac. Abraham literally said, okay, if that's what you want, sure, why not? There's so much I'm pretty sure that was going through Abraham's mind in that moment. I also really think and believe that in our lives today, we can be Abraham and we can have our Isaacs. There are things that are near and dear to us. And the Lord is saying, hey, I want you to cut that out. You're thinking, this is my vocation. This person has been my friend my whole life. This is my whatever it is. And the Lord is saying, hey, take that and release it to me. Sacrifice it. Give it to me. And in the beginning, you're questioning that and thinking, does this add up? Does this make sense? Because if I release this, then that's a huge part of me that is gone. Like, are you sure you gave me this, Lord? Why would you want me to give it back in this sense of which I'm going to literally destroy it? The place that we can journey with this is not questioning the why of why God is doing something, but trusting the reason that he has for us. And a lot of times we may not know what that reason is in the beginning. And as we journey through this story, we will see that the clarity of what that looks like may be very different than what we can expect. But I'll tell you this, that in your journey with the Lord and in your situation, no matter what it is, if the Lord is asking you to do something, I encourage you to first, as he calls you, to answer up and say, Here I am. There's something powerful in accepting the calling of the Lord and being committed and trusting that he's going to see you through that. The Lord could be calling you to something right now, and in fact, he could be calling you and haven't even shown it to you yet, but he's actually just calling your name and waiting on you to just say, here I am. What that meant to me is Abraham said, I am ready and available. He didn't know what the Lord was about to tell him. He didn't know that he was about to say, hey, take your only son, the one you love dearly, and sacrifice him. He just knew the Lord called and he needed to answer. That was the telling sign in the beginning of his trust, his honor, and his fear of God. God could be calling you right now. Are you brave? Are you comfortable? Are you trusting? Are you willing to just say, here I am? What's next? I don't understand your ways. Oh, but I will give you my song, give you all of my praise. Yeah. For you hold on to all my pain, and with it you are pulling me closer, pulling me into your ways, pulling me into your ways. Today, as we just looked at verse 1 of this song, I want to encourage you guys to just do one thing. Listen for the Lord to call and be willing and ready to just say, here I am. Not knowing what the ask is going to be, but trusting and knowing that if he calls, there's a reason. I pray that you guys have a blessed day, and I'm excited to continue to journey through this story and this song. I will see you guys tomorrow morning.